Good evening, everyone. Hope you're well. Yeah, here in Norway now it's election time, and in just less than 24 hours from now, they're going to have elections for the municipalities. And who knows what will be the outcome of all of this, and if there will be anything of an improvement after this, and a better everyday life for everyone. uh, when we see that they have decided to now send electricity to to the gas production uh, sites in Norway in the sea, and they have decided that they have now uh, they now need to be supplied with electrical energy, um, instead of with uh, with gas, in which they have plenty of. Then you will have to ask how much money will this cost, and what expenses are you going to have to pay for it, and why why was it decided to do this when they already have their own power supply, just because they need to save the environment? How can you save the environment by making people pay more more than they have ever done for in just taxes and different state decided extra expenses for giving electricity to one of the most important export goods here in Norway. So it's quite hard to understand why they have to do this. Is it just because of the environment? And what about all? And are we going to be happier if we pay half of our income just for a better environment? And are we going to pay 10 times as much as before for electricity, which is now being exported to Europe, when just a few years ago we were self-supplied? Now, why is this all disappearing? Why is all this electricity disappearing to other countries when we're not even supplying ourselves first, but it all is going to the free market, and we're paying 10 times more for the electricity which we could have had so cheap and been self-supplied. And if there was any excess production, we could export it. Instead, we had to pay through a common cable system called Acer, more than 10 times the price that we used to pay for electricity just a few years ago. How is this possible? How is it possible? And why do we have to give away uh, the resources that could have kept us independent and self-supplied and warm through the winter? We are in one of the countries in Europe which are the coldest ones, and there can be the record here is -51 in the winter, where many areas maybe don't experience this much, but still temperatures of -20 um, for periods of time, degrees Celsius, and the electricity that is needed to heat houses, which could have been produced at an affordable price, is now being exported to other countries first. So we have to suffer and pay more just because of the free market. And isn't this something that Norwegians should have first? Should have the right to have first? This is not making sense. It's totally absurd. And what about all the money given to foreign countries for embassy in Congo now? They built an embassy in Congo for millions and millions of euros, or um, and it's very hard to understand why why we're having to pay tens of millions of euros in foreign aid to countries where we do not know where it helps or not. There was a few years ago, there was a fake crisis, hunger crisis, a fake hunger crisis, and it was just fake. It was just invented by the BBC, and it was invented by leading representatives in the Norwegian Refugee Council, that this was just fraud. It didn't exist. And they said on national television that there was a hunger crisis, but it didn't exist. And there had to be a lot of millions of euros being spent on this crisis, which didn't exist. It was just a lie. And lots of the countries in African nations, in different nations also in Asia, are receiving foreign aid, which we do not know, and do not know anything, where we do not know anything about the results, and we have to pay for this also. And we have to see that lots of money is being used just for something we do not need. We have a culture ministry for culture. Now, do we need a whole ministry for culture? Can't we just create culture, or have some representative who can just distribute the support that culture receives, whether it's art or music or theater or literature or fine arts or folklore or whatever it is? It is all a great and wonderful and important part of our everyday life, but do we have to have an own ministry for it? Why do we need to do this? And what about all the suggestions from the education ministry of a better education system, and all the different parts and departments of the education ministry, which has to receive a lot of money too, in a system where basically today the students have more rights than the teachers. Why do we have to pay so much money to such a ministry when also the results are really terrible in many areas, in mathematics and science? Norway has been far down on the in the PISA measurements of students' abilities in mathematics and science, and these areas we continue to finance the educational ministry and their different departments to try to improve, but it's been bad for tens of years, and the money keeps pouring out, and Norwegian students are getting worse and worse in so many areas. Now, who will help and motivate some new great inventors? When will we have a new Edison or a Henry Ford or a Steve Jobs or a Warren Buffett in Norway, who can really create values for many people? And how many of those people do we really have? We don't get much. Lots of money is being invested, but we don't see where they go. Hundreds of millions of kroner, Norwegian kroner, can be saved from not spending so much money on all of this, and we don't have to pay for lots of people who are criminals and terrorists, and they still get money, even though they're not even have any Norwegian rights as citizens or residents, and they still keep getting money even though they're doing illegal activity in Norway. So why is all this money being spent on all of this? And why are not Norwegians allowed to receive this money first? and they have to pay everything in taxes, in 25% taxes on most of the consumer goods. The taxes are enormously high, even on gasoline and diesel. And we are an oil nation, but we still pay some of the highest taxes in the world, even though we have plenty of the resources ourselves. And we are financing a state which is paying for a lot of people who are proven to be criminals, and people who are not registered for any work. They can just receive free money, and it's just a system where a lot of people who do bad, they get more priority and help and money than people who do good and pay a lot of taxes. And there are enormous costs for transportation and cars. To have a car, even though most Norwegians need to have a car, they need to pay all kinds of different taxes to have a car. So why is this? Why is it so expensive to live in Norway if it's such a good country? And why are they also investigating and hurting people who are um, good parents in families where they have done nothing wrong, but they still are being investigated, and their lives are being destroyed by a lot of investigations by the authorities because they might have done something to the children or be bad parents, and they're being investigated for months. But there is no proof of anything wrong, and they're getting their lives destroyed because they're being treated as potential suspects for weeks and months and even years. And they can even be, some of them even lose their children, and their children are being taken away from them and put in foster homes. And all of this is happening in Norway today, and we're going to vote for parties who practice all of these things that I have mentioned and explained now these last minutes. Why are we voting for parties like this? All of the leading parties are more or less supporting all of this. So why vote for any of the leading parties at all? It doesn't matter, because they cannot help you. They will only care for themselves. They do not even care anymore about the people. They're just collecting votes just to continue with a system that eats more money for and more of your money and more and introducing more taxes, and even making it hard to create new employments and new places of work, because those who have money and are investors and are making more money, even millionaires and investors and people who can create employment for people in Norway. Norwegians or residents are foreigners who live as residents in Norway, and who also do great work. They cannot find they cannot find they cannot get any work from any of these investors who wanted to start companies in Norway, because it's too much taxes on fortune and revenues, and so much money of their so much of their money and their fortunes and revenues and their portfolios and stocks and property values are being charged and taken away from them in taxes, so they move to other countries, Switzerland or Bahamas or other places far away, and you can say, oh, we don't care about them because they're just rich anyway. So why care? But it actually matters, because they do not want to lose a big part of the money that they wanted to invest to create value in our society and give people work and multiply the values and the and the gains and profit that many people could get from being employed by these people who have a lot of money and want to invest in Norway, but they can't because they lose too much of their money, so they go to other countries. So it's a kind of suicidal direction. Everything's going in a suicidal direction, and we don't want it. We want the future. We want the vision. We want a safe future for our families and for our in our communities, and we want people to have work and to have something to live from, and we want elderly people to have some help and security when they get older and someone to take care of them. We want children to feel safe. We want families to want to have children and plan for a future in Norway. And we want easier and better conditions for small companies to establish and invest here in Norway. And so it should be people. So young people should be encouraged also to start something. Startups should be encouraged. There should be, Innovation Norge can contribute to this with different programs, teachings, courses, and also scholarships. Also other there are also other institutions who can contribute to this, and we can create a better environment for people to start something, to have a future vision, because it's possible to have a future vision in such a great, wonderful country like Norway. So it's just amazing to see such a huge group of politicians and ruling parties who now want to destroy and rip apart and waste hundreds of millions of kroner on nothing instead of creating a future. So I would just encourage you to really be critical in this municipal election. Now, I'm talking to you whether you are Norwegian and you will understand me, even though I'm speaking English, or you are maybe a resident in Norway with voting rights, and you should now find some party who really believes in a future for Norway. And I would this time be very skeptical and just stay away from established parties who will just continue to make life much harder and make it even more corrupt, everything even more corrupt, and not care, and that do not care about the future of the people. They care more about their own position, and we don't need that. And I don't think even those who are in those parties need that either. They need to work for a common good vision where everyone has enough, and where there's safety and security for everyone, and that we have order, and with some order we have some law and order, and there's there is justice, there is and fundamental functioning police who will be always who will always put a stop to crime and terrorism, and make this country a safer place to live, and also that people will be encouraged to work for a common vision of the future, because our country is great, and we have a lot of great resources, natural resources. We have fish and oil and gas and water power and hydroelectric power, and we have minerals, different minerals, metals, precious metals also. And we have wildlife, animals, lots of nature resources, and we have great flora and fauna, and we have plenty of nature and space to produce and create values. And we have a lot of innovative and great and clever, intelligent people also. So we can create the great future for Norway through this election. So vote for someone who really believes clearly in their statements, in these visions, and do not vote for established parties who will just care for nothing but their own power. So vote either for one small party who will really support your vision for the future, or consider starting your own, because in 2 years, your own party, consider starting your own political party. I'm doing it already. You will hear more from me soon. It's a party that is will be called the future for Norway, and we will work for a better future for everyone in Norway as far as possible. We don't believe we are perfect, but we will create something better, and we have a vision for the future. We are positive, and we want you to be positive also, not discouraged. Do not support those who do not want to create a future, a good future for everyone, but only for themselves. But support those who have good concrete visions for how to make our society simpler and and with less bureaucracy and with less wasting of money and with less taxes, who will just charge people for things they have not asked for anyway, which is just a forced something forced and not voluntary. And instead, vote for some party who will ensure your freedom and a good life in the future for you, for your family, for your loved ones, and for your neighbors. And do not give up the vision for a good future for this country, because there are only some easy things that can be done, and we will have a much better future if we just start doing it now, taking away all the unnecessary expenses and fake visions and all the utopia thinking, and start just living in the reality we have now and plan a future with our own creative abilities and our own talents, and help each other and encourage each other every day. Let's do that together and stand together. Wish you all the best, my friend, and God bless you. Have a great day, and please take into consideration what I've been telling you, and thank you for taking the time to listen to me. And if you like this video, please give me a like under this video, and subscribe to this channel if you agree, and if you like this. Wishing you a great day. Goodbye.